Hi, good morning to everyone. This is Mohammad Hasib from Vembu Technologies. I'm one of the sales engineer here, and I'll be hosting today's webinar. And we see that people are joining in quickly, so we'll give it a minute and we'll start the webinar. Thank you so much. Please stay connected. Okay, thank you once again for staying connected. So we see people have joined, and we'll start this webinar. The webinar is on enhanced HyperV backup using Vembu VM Backup version 3.5. So before we begin with this webinar, I'd like to give you a small introduction here on the company. About Vembu Technologies, we founded in the year 2004, and it's a private company, and we are profitable since 2006. And we have about 4,000 plus channel partners around the globe, and we have reached more than 60,000 businesses so far, and we are headquartered in Chennai, India. So most of our customers, that is 70% of our customers, are from North America, and 20% from Europe, and the rest 10% from other part of the world. And just to give you a small information here, so basically everyone here who has joined the meeting are muted. So if you have any questions by end of the session, there will be if you have any questions, you can directly post us. So all are muted here, and then to proceed further, we will talk about the Vembu BDR suite. That is the product we have. So the Vembu BDR suite is an one-stop solution to all your backup and DR disaster recovery needs, and it's basically for small and mid-sized businesses. So the products listed here is we have VM Backup, that is for backup and replication for VMware and Hyper-V environment. And then moving on, we have image backup. It is for backing up a physical Windows servers and desktops. That is actually also called as bare metal recovery. And we also have network backup. This is especially designed to backup for files and applications like MS Exchange, SQL, and SharePoint, Active Directory, Outlook, and MySQL, etc. And then we also provide a cloud-based solution, which is we call as Vembu Online Backup. So the backup solution for file folders, applications like MS Exchange, SQL, SharePoint as an Outlook, etc. And it will back up directly to our cloud. And then we also provide a SaaS backup solution for backups like for Office 365 and Google Apps. And add-on products, what we have currently is Vembu Offsite DR, is an add-on service to a Vembu BDR backup server. So Offsite DR enables you to keep additional copy of backup data on site or off site. And then we have Vembu Cloud DR, which has the ability to replicate or to keep a copy of your on-site Vembu BDR server on Vembu Cloud. And then we have Vembu BDR 360, which is actually a management console for all your Vembu BDR backup servers. And we also provide the Vembu Universal Explorer. It's an agentless software which helps you to restore individual items from Microsoft Exchange, SQL Server, SharePoint, and Active Directory. So this tool can be used for instant granular recovery from Vembu BDR backups. And why Vembu VM Backup? So we'll talk about the challenges. So currently the backup and backing up a virtual environment typically are more expensive and difficult to manage. So that requires a fundamentally different approach. So the solution Vembu provides is Vembu VM Backup, which is designed for virtual environments like VMware, vSphere, and Microsoft Hyper-V environment. So the Vembu fills the purpose here to be the best of technology in providing manageable solution and affordable cost for both VMware and Microsoft Hyper-V virtual machines. Along with the application that resides in the system, it also offers optional cloud disaster recovery. And moving on, the recovery time objective, which is also called as RTO. So we offer the RTO, which is best in the industry, which is less than 15 minutes. So basically, you can backup, you can perform backups for every 15 minutes. So the recoveries we provide is instant virtual machine recovery and instant file level recovery, and also the Universal Explorer to explore the the Exchange or SQL applications. And the recovery point objective, that is RPO, as we discussed earlier, we provide near continuous data protection without affecting the production data center. So the features we have here, it's like automated backup and replication scheduling. Backup frequencies start from every 15 minutes. So we give backups to perform backups like for every 15 minutes. So you can assure the the recovery point, which is less than 15 minutes. In case of if you want to perform a restore, you can go back to the earliest, like every 15 minutes you will be having the the backup. So the RPO will be less than 15 minutes. And this part is actually a backup verification. It's like backup data should be recoverable. That's the motive of taking a backup. So if it's not recoverable, so the complete backup itself is useless or worthless. So Vembu provides the ability to run automatic backup verification for all backed up VMs. So this is basically the backup verification. It's an automated to run post completion of every backup schedule or once in a day. So what it exactly mean is every backup you perform, like image backups of virtual machines or a physical machine. So these backups will be automatically booted up in the backend, and a screenshot will be captured for for the backups, and it will be mailed to you every day, just to keep you posted that the backups are consistent. And moving on, the management, the storage management is one of the best part we have. So we actually use like a Vembu BDR, as it states, Vembu VMBackup server utilizes Vembu Hive file system. It's actually a file system which is designed by Vembu itself, so that's why it's named as Vembu Hive file system. So it's nothing but an efficient cloud file system designed for large-scale backup and disaster recovery applications with support for advanced use cases. So Vembu Hive can be defined as as a file system for file systems. So we support SAN, NAS, and DAS automatically scale up and scale out the storage devices, and we also provide like inbuilt version control and error corrections, and we have the inbuilt compression, deduplication, and encryption for the backups. And we got this migration plan. It's actually like physical to virtual and virtual to physical conversions, or virtual to virtual conversion. So by using the file system, when you have a requirement, like if you are planning to migrate physical machines to virtual environment, like for example VMware or Hyper-V, and it's very cost-effective solution we have with less downtime offering and less workload. So Vembu has a built-in solution to all your migration plans. So we support instant creation of VMDK, VHD, and RAW files. What does exactly mean is when you perform a backup, a physical image backup of a machine, and if you want that machine to be up and running on a VMware or in a Hyper-V environment, so using the the recovery options we provide, you can instantly download or restore the backed up physical image into VMDK or VHD format, and you can instantly create machines on a virtual environment, that is on VMware or Hyper-V. So We don't charge anything extra for this. It's automatically inbuilt on the product itself. So anytime you want to convert the machines from physical to virtual or virtual to virtual, you can instantly do it when you have the successful image backups. And moving on, this is the architecture. I'll explain you here in a briefly. So the Vembu VDR backup server is actually an application which you will be installing on a Windows 2008 R2 or Windows 2012 R2 machines. So once you install the Vembu VDR backup server, you will be having a management console where you will be adding the VMware or Hyper-V host using the the VMBackup client agent, which is actually a console, a web console. Will be provided to you, and once you add the Hyper-V host, you will be performing all the the backup data will be backed up to the VDR server. And if you need an additional copy of it, you will be having an offsite DR server, which you will be installing it in a different location. So using the LAN or WAN, you can have a copy of backed up Vembu VDR server offsite as well. And if you want, you can opt. It's an optional feature which we give. If you would like, you can also enable the cloud, which is actually Vembu Cloud, where you can have a copy of Vembu VDR that is on-site backup server copy on Vembu Cloud as well. And we got Vembu Portal. It's a management console where you will be managing all your licenses. And this particular console, it's actually a web console where you will be having your login credentials. Once you log in, you can manage your clients by purchasing licenses and assigning licenses. Everything will be done through this Vembu portal. Right, and moving on, with the Hyper-V Backup, you will be having the host level Hyper-V Backup, which is designed to protect Microsoft Hyper-V servers. And Vembu has developed its own actual driver to back up the Hyper-V VMs in an efficient manner, especially with the 5 times improvement in performance over backup softwares in the industry. So Hyper-V Backups uses application-specific VSS writers. So that is actually the design what we have. We use the VSS writers to the consistent snapshots of highly transactional applications like Exchange Server, SQL Server, and we truncate the log, the log files during the backup jobs. And the configuration and the retention policies are flexible to configure, and back up multiple VMs in single backup job, or options to create multiple jobs with group of VMs is also available. And we provide the hot backup, which ensures the VM, the virtual machine downtime, and we support Hyper-V cluster shared volumes as well. So this is also one of the architecture of the Vembu VDR server, which has been installed on a Windows 2008 R2 or Windows 2012 R2 machine. And the VM backup will communicate with the Hyper-V, the production storage, and the backup the VM data. So once you add the host, the Hyper-V host, it will communicate with the host, and it will start backing up the data. And the VM backup works as a proxy between hypervisor and VDR backup server as well. So VM data will be it will be compressed and encrypted on fly, and the data will be compressed, deduplicated, and encrypted at the rest on the storage repositories as well. And moving on, this is actually the architecture how we perform a backup. So during the initial full backup, the host machine, we use the Microsoft VSS services, which will initiate the snapshot, and the VMs added as a component to a VSS, and the squeezing will perform, and all the applications inside the VMs will be in a consistent will come to a consistent state. So the VM backup will read the actual VHD or the VHDX file, and the snapshot will be deleted, and the backup success acknowledgement will be given on the console itself. So for tracking the changes, we actually use the Vembu CBT drive tracking, which is actually change block tracking. So after a full backup, Vembu VM Backup CBT driver starts tracking the VHD files associated with the guest VM. So all the changes in VHD files are efficiently tracked by the driver. So when an incremental is scheduled, the blocks the block level changes alone. So for example, if you perform a full backup initially, and after that when the incremental happens, it will only back up the block and the changes alone, and that improves the actual performance and the consistency of the backup. And to highlight the features in Vembu VM Backup 3.5, so it's actually an agentless VM backup. So a single centralized server installation is required to maintain the virtual machines across the Hyper-V hosts. And so as I told you earlier, I'll show you the screen on the demo. So it's like you have to add the host details, like for example machine name, username, password. That is actually the Hyper-V host or the VMware host and the Vembu BDR server. So once the host details are added, an integration service. So from the Vembu BDR backup server, there will be an integration service which will be pushed to the Hyper-V host. So now it will give you an option, to select the host and configure backups of the desired virtual machines. So once the integration service is pushed to the host, it will list all the available virtual machines. So you can choose the virtual machines to perform backup. So apart from that, we have extensive support for virtual machines in SMB storage as well. So you need to add the SMB file server to the hosts list to back up the virtual machines using SMB file server as a storage. So it's actually a quick recovery on a Hyper-V. That is, for example, if you're running the BDR on a Vembu BDR on a 2008, that is on a Windows environment, so you will be having the native hypervisor available, that is Hyper-V on it. So once you perform the backup of the virtual machines, you will have the image backups available in the Vembu BDR server. So we actually give a drive which is called as Vembu Virtual Drive. So along with the the BDR server, there will be a drive which will be created on every backup server. So using this drive, when you perform an instant boot, the image files will be automatically will be shown on the Vembu Virtual Drive, and by using the native hypervisor available. So as I said, for example, if it's a Windows 2008 R2 or a 2012 R2, you will have a Hyper-V role enabled already. So if you are backing up, so for example, if you want to perform an instant boot, like if you want to run a backed up virtual machine instantly when the disaster happens, you can use this option. So you can actually boot the machine, and it will be automatically booted, like instantly booted on the hypervisor available on the BDR server, and you can start working on it. So I mean, if it's a Linux, I mean, we also give for the testing purpose, we provide Linux virtual appliance as well as Linux builds for Vembu BDR backup server. So if that is the case, so you will have the KVM available as a native hypervisor on Linux, so you can instantly boot the backup virtual machines on the KVM as well, and you can instantly start working on it. So we'll move on to the live demo. I'll quickly show you the the product console and the way it works. Just give me 1 minute here. Okay, so this is the screen which you're looking at. It is actually the Vembu BDR, the backup server. I mean, that is the web console of the Vembu BDR. So you will be installing the application from our website on your backup server. For example, if it's a it can be a Windows 2008 R2 or a Windows 2012 R2 machine. So once you install, this is how the screen will be looking, and it's pretty simple, and you know, it's a very easy screen. And I'll show you how the backup can be configured for Hyper-V. So once the the application is installed on a machine, you can use either a local host with the port 6060 or 6061, or you can also use the machine name and the port 6060 from another machine available on the same network, in case if you don't want to access the actual backup server. So you can use the other options as well. So in order to perform the Hyper-V backup, you will go to the option backup and Microsoft Hyper-V. Just one here. All right, so once you click on backup and Hyper-V backup, it will open up a console like manage Hyper-V server. So you can go here, add Hyper-V server, and it will ask you for if it's a standalone Hyper-V host or if it's a SMB host. So you can choose the available host which you have, and you need to add the host name with the username and password. So the port number is optional. So once you add the host information, you can save the configuration here. So once the configuration is saved, you will be able to see the host added on the console, on the Hyper-V console. So once it's added, this is how it will look like. This is the test bed which we have added. So I mean, once it's been added, you can see the build number and the version available, for that particular server. And as we said, once you add the host credentials, there will be a Vembu integration service which will be pushed to the backup. To the Hyper-V host, and it will list the backup, the virtual machines available. So in order to perform the backup, you will click on the icon, the backup now, which will take you to the screen where you will be able to see the available, the virtual machines on the configured host. So you can select the virtual machines, and you can proceed next. So this is actually the backup frequency, as I showed in the webinar. As I said on the webinar, the RTO and the RPO, it's like 15 minutes. So what it means is for every 15 minutes you can perform the backup, and it's like you can run daily or hourly, or we also have run weekly option, and it's actually the basic retention, and we provide like 3 daily merge recovery points. So actually we also provide the advanced retention here, where you will be able to merge the daily incrementals. Like if you're setting up like every 15 minutes incremental, so end of the day there will be too many incrementals available. So in order to have one single restore point, or to merge all the incrementals, we provide this grandfather, father, son retention policies, where you can set like daily merge, and you can also set like weekly merge. So you will have end of the month, you will have like 4 weekly merges available. So you can also set like monthly merge. So all the daily and the weekly merge will be merged into one single recovery point by end of the month. So end of the year you will be having like 12 restore points available. Right, so once the retention is set, you also have the application aware option. For example, if you have a virtual machine running Exchange or SQL on the virtual machine, so you can actually choose this option, like to make the the virtual the BDR, to make it aware that there is an application running, so that it will take a consistent backup, and you can choose this option like truncate logs immediately. So once the the snapshot is initiated for that particular virtual machine where you have the application running, it will truncate the log immediately once after the snapshot. And we also give an option to perform additional backup. So it's based on your requirement. You can have you can configure additional full backups, and you can set up to 99 full backups on a particular backup job. And once you configure the the retention policies, you can just add the name, the backup name, and once the configurations are reviewed, so here the configurations are reviewed where you can see which machine you have selected for the backup and what is the the frequency you have set for the backup, and what is the retention policy you have selected. So once these are reviewed, you can just click on run the backup. So backup will start running, and you'll be able to see the progress bar available. Okay, and that's pretty much about the the console, the BDR console. It's as I said, it's user friendly and it's pretty easy to manage and configure the backup. So in case if you are planning to do an evaluation on the product, you can download the product, which is available on our website. You can just go to vembu.com, and under products, you should be able to see the Vembu BDR suite. So once you go to Vembu BDR suite, you will be having the download option available there. So that will be the the actual application which you can install on a physical machine like Windows 2008 or 2012 R2, and you can start testing the product. And it will be a 30-day trial available for you. For every download, there will be a 30-day trial. So you can start testing, and if you have any questions or anything you would like to discuss with Vembu on more on the product features and on product demos, you can anytime drop an email to vembu-support@vembu.com, or you can either, for any sales queries or on the licensing part, you can drop email to vembu-sales@vembu.com. And thank you once again for joining us on the webinar today. So if you have if you have any questions or any suggestions or anything related to the product and the the webinar or the demo, you can drop us an email, or you can directly reach us on the contact numbers available. So we work here 24/7. We'll be happy to help you with that. Thank you so much once again for joining us on the webinar, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.